Alright, so this is Ascend. It's an Xbox Live Arcade game by Signal Studios. You played the Toy Soldiers games in the past. You know, like small indie developer. Mostly known for like casual, more family-friendly titles, I guess. But there's less than 20 of us working on this title. We're really stoked to be doing something a little bit different. You know, on the surface, it's an action RPG. You kind of know what to expect with that if you played any of those this generation. You know, you got leveling up, finishing moves. It's really brutal and all that, upgrading and customization of the characters. But what really makes our game unique, we feel, is this notion of real-time parallel multiplayer. What that kind of means is that everybody who's playing Ascend is playing a single-player game. They're playing by themselves. You can actually see other players who are playing in the world alongside you. So as you're playing the single-player game, you're capturing certain areas of the world for the Light God, or the Dark God, or the Void God. We have 3 different alignments in the game. And each of those has a unique upgrade path where you're unlocking new abilities. All of our abilities, we have 10 abilities planned currently per alignment. Each of those are fully customizable. So, you know, you're changing the shock skill is kind of pre-upgraded to one particular path. You can control, you know, the spread of those, whether or not they actually stun guys, how much damage it does. The Dark character starts with this impaling ability, which you can upgrade to like actually impale guys so they're stuck as a crowd control, or like they'll bleed for damage over time. So one of the cool ways that you actually start capturing the world is by capturing these holy sites. This is a shrine, which is kind of like one of our lesser holy sites. This one's owned by a Titan. So basically, if you can kill all the enemies around the shrine, you can own it. But we track that information, right? We know that you're a live character. We know you captured this shrine. And so this is where some of our asynchronous multiplayer features start to come in. Like, we know the aggregate contribution of all light characters. You know, a lot of people playing light this weekend or whatever. We also know that, like, you know, if there's not a lot of people playing dark, we can give them certain incentives or bonuses based on that. We can also use the information of you capturing this area to dynamically create content for somebody who plays it after you. So like say you've converted this shrine or whatever, somebody else comes to this in their game, it actually might be owned by the Light God. It could have your gamer tag over it. Later in the demo, we'll show you an example of where a player is like defending another village. More to that stuff later. So, raise the shrine, you unlock the ability, which I'll kind of show you in a minute here. But in addition to the combat abilities you've got here on the bar, if you hold on the left trigger, you'll see this element change. You can use the D-pad to switch between abilities. We have like these online abilities, we're calling them Meta War abilities. They allow you to kind of help or hinder other players as they're going. If you run back a little bit, we can actually track this guy down and we'll kind of like run through the demo together. Basically, any of those players you see the ghost and kind of phantom versions of them, you can interact with them with blessings and curses. But you never really know if somebody you see is going to help or hinder your progress. So you start with this blessing, you're a light character, you can actually heal him a little bit. You can send him a blessing of health where if he's fighting nearby, his health just constantly regenerates. On the other end, the dark character can give you a blessing where any enemy nearby you like catches on fire, which makes combat really kind of fun and interesting. You can also curse people though. So, you know, an example of a curse that we're showing off today is a Banish, which is a void ability. And what that does is it actually creates these blue portals that suck enemies through them. And those will get warped into his game. So there's a room coming up here with a bunch of enemies that jump out. We'll watch you use Banish, and you'll literally see guys get sucked out, turned into ghosts here, and they'll show up on the other character's machine. This connection right here is happening automatically over Xbox Live right now. We might see a couple other characters run through. We have a couple people back at the hotel playing the game right now and back in the studio as well. So maybe we already kind of killed these guys, but if you want to help them out, hold on left trigger. Actually, he just cast you a fire blessing. You can cast him back. You select this right there, press right bumper. On his game, you get that blessing cast notification that shows up in his game automatically, and now he's getting healed. So like the whole time you're playing, you're passing things back and forth, which is pretty sweet. Those connections are currently random though. It's just different people that are occupying the same place. And again, it's a single player game. So you know, if you like to play co-op RPGs, but you're tired of like sitting around in a lobby waiting to organize things, or coordinating between friends, because this guy's level 20 and I'm level 10 or whatever, how's that going to work? Well, you're all playing single player games, so enemies are always balanced to you, but you're passing content back and forth in kind of an indirect way. So we're kind of stoked about that approach to multiplayer, especially on Xbox Live in the arcade space, because like nobody's doing that shit. We're super stoked about that.
So what about if you want to play with your actual friends?
So we're looking at some different areas of the game where it's more appropriate to get people to live together. Like, the world would be really open, where there's certain areas where like we put like pretty specific combat challenges, and so you just basically need to be to a certain like, you need to have enough weapons and armor on a high enough level that you can actually stand a chance to fight there. And so there will be like really hard dungeons that you'll go to in the game where you have to kind of coordinate between players. And we would like to have people play with friends, because ultimately, I think that's what people care most about, is like playing with your friends and showing off their characters.